Hi everyone, my name is Dan, and this very important training video is brought to you by the Estate and Elder Planning Center. What you will learn in this video is how to pass the 7 Medicaid tests, so let's get started. Test 1. Sickness. A doctor has to certify you really are sick enough to need nursing home care. Now, this is funny. Can you imagine anyone going to a nursing home for a vacation? Test 2. Age. You have to be 65 years or older, or legally blind, or disabled according to the Social Security standards. Test 3. Citizenship. You must be a citizen of the United States, or in some cases, a holder of a green card. Test 4. Residence. This test illustrates why so many people have trouble understanding Medicaid law. To be eligible for Ohio Medicaid, you have to be a resident of the state in which you apply. But if you're in a nursing home in one state, you are automatically a resident of that state, even if you live elsewhere, vote elsewhere, etc. Test 5. Income. The income test is a little tricky because each state has its own rules. But don't worry, there is a special income trust that can be used to qualify if your monthly income is above the federal limits. With this type of arrangement, you simply deposit your income directly into the trust, and that way the income isn't yours anymore because it belongs to the trust. And because you now have a very low income source that fits below the maximum allowable amount, you are eligible for Medicaid. See how that works? Test 6. Assets. There are literally several hundred possible combinations of the asset rules, but don't worry, I'll mention just a few of the most important ones today. Most people think you have to be broke before you can get Medicaid, that you can't even keep your house. Isn't that what you thought before today? Well, this is what the Ohio rules actually say. You can't get Medicaid if your countable assets are more than $1,500. I repeat, you can't get Medicaid if your countable assets are more than $1,500. Well, that pretty much sounds like you have to be pretty close to broke, doesn't it? But you don't have to go broke. And it's because of one little word. Did you catch it? The word is countable. And it simply means that when Medicaid is counting up your assets to see whether you have more than $1,500, some assets count, some assets don't count. Right about now, you're probably thinking you understand why everybody says Medicaid is so complicated and hard to deal with. Well, not so fast, because the madness has just begun. To begin with, some assets never count, and let's take a look at those now. Clothing, furniture, and jewelry never count. Your house and your car don't count either while you're alive, meaning if you're healthy, living in your house and driving your car while you're alive, they are exempt. However, when the last remaining spouse in a marital situation or a single person passes away, the house and the car is available for Ohio Medicaid recovery. Test 7. Compliance. In effect, you can go from having lots of countable assets to having less than $1,500 worth of countable assets, and therefore qualify for Ohio Medicaid, but only if they approve of the way you went about it. The biggest no-no is giving away what you have so you now satisfy the other 6 tests. Just imagine, you're sick and you're old, you're a citizen and you're in a nursing home in Ohio. Your income is $1,000 from Social Security, and let's say you have an IRA worth $100,000 and just $1,500 in your savings account. The IRA is a countable asset, so you can't get Medicaid. But you figure if you don't have the IRA, then it'll be low enough for you to receive Medicaid, so you just give away your IRA, leaving you with just $1,500 worth of countable assets. Now you pass all 6 tests and you become eligible for Ohio Medicaid, right? Not quite. You do pass all 6 tests, that's for sure, but you still don't get Medicaid because they won't approve of the way you got yourself broke. Now, there are ways to shelter your assets and still get Medicaid, even some gifting if it's done right. Let's take a look at that right now. First, you could make a gift, then wait 60 months, and then apply for Medicaid. That 60 months is what is called the look-back period, which is the time period during which Medicaid is allowed to examine your gifts, and that's all it really is. Then, After Medicaid determines that a gift was made during the look-back period, and only then, Medicaid is allowed to look at the gift to decide if there ought to be a penalty for making that gift. The amount of the penalty for gifts that are penalized, meaning the number of months Medicaid won't pay, is computed by a complicated formula. So here are the results. The rule says that you start serving your time, like let's say in a penalty box at an ice hockey game, when you are otherwise eligible for Medicaid benefits, but for making that gift. Now, this is probably the most confusing part of all the Medicaid rules, so let's just keep it simple for now and remember this. If you gift, you will most likely cause a penalty period, but the penalty period begins once you file an application for Medicaid benefits, and not on the date that you actually made the gift. Would you like to learn how to qualify for Ohio Medicaid? Then send for our free report called Medicaid Secrets Revealed. Get a copy of this free report by going to helpprotectyourfamily.com or give us a call at area code 216-642-8233. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.